In this video, we're going to outline a randomized comparative experiment. And in doing so, we're also going to explain what a lurking variable is and a way to kind of look out for those lurking variables. In the randomized comparative experiment, we're just going to make a diagram for what an experiment would look like. So let's use, in the previous video, we talked about the difference between an explanatory variable and a response variable. And we use this scenario of trying to see if the Atkins diet can affect weight loss. So if we wanted to create an experimental design that is purely comparative and randomized, you always want to start with assigning or having random assignment to groups. Okay, so the first step in any diagram is we want random assignment. And what that means is if I have, let's say I have 30 people in this experiment and I want half of the group to be on the Atkins diet and the other half to not be on the Atkins diet, I have to randomly assign where those people are going to go and what treatment. Okay, so, and that's before I even figure out which group is going to take the Atkins diet and which group is going to not take the Atkins diet. So I randomly assign 15 people to group 1, and I also randomly assign 15 people to group 2. And then from there, again, I'm not sure which group is going to do the Atkins diet, and I'm not sure which group is going to be the control. So I randomly select group 1 to either do the Atkins diet or group 2 to be the control. So let's say group 1 is on the Atkins diet. And we'll say we do this for 4 weeks. And then group 2 is going to receive a placebo. All right, they're going to be our control group. Okay, now, what does this term placebo mean? All right, we're going to highlight this and kind of take a deeper look as to what a placebo is. Okay, and placebo, it's a treatment that is almost identical to what the treatment group is receiving, but it's not the actual treatment. So the reason we use it is to make people feel like they are part of the treatment group. So out of this group of 30 people, we put them all on the quote-unquote same diet, but the Atkins diet that group 2 is doing is not purely protein and not having carbohydrates. So placebo, the technical term for it is a dummy treatment. Right, it's a dummy treatment that's meant to give the impression that, we'll say, both subjects in the experimental group, and that's just another way to describe the people who are actually receiving the treatment. Subjects in the experimental group and the control group are doing the same thing. Okay, this is known as when subjects are under the impression they're doing the same thing. That's also known as a blind. Okay, so again, this impression from the subject's point of view, we also call that being in the blind, right? They're not sure who has received the treatment and who has not received the treatment. So we call them, again, in the blind. All right, let's go back to our experimental design and see what this is going to look like. Okay, so our placebo group, they're still having some form of the Atkins diet. Like everything can emulate what the treatment group is getting, the same meals, but they're not actually true Atkins meals. All right, but they're still going to go through with the process for 4 weeks. All right, and then the last thing we're going to do in our design is we're going to compare the two groups. And the last step of this design is we always want to specify what our response variable is. So I always say compare, and our response variable in this case is weight loss. So we want to compare weight loss. All right, and that's it. That's basically what a randomized comparative experiment is going to look like.